So by now, we all know that Bernie Sanders made his official endorsement of Hillary Clinton. And although, it's still disappointing, it's not necessarily surprising. Many of us had thought that he would actually wait until after the convention to endorse her, but there are a lot of indications that he gave to us that he would be, in fact, endorsing her earlier.
Secretary Clinton has won the Democratic nominating process, and I congratulate her for that. She will be the Democratic nominee for president, and I intend to do everything I can to make certain she will be the next president of the United States. I have come here to make it as clear as possible as to why I am endorsing Hillary Clinton and why she must become our next president. This campaign is not really about Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump or Bernie Sanders or any other candidate who sought the presidency. This campaign is about the needs of the American people and addressing the very serious crises that we face. And there is no doubt in my mind that as we head into November, Hillary Clinton is far and away the best candidate to do that.
Now look, expectedly, Bernie Sanders supporters are torn. I mean, I think 100% of us are disappointed, but there's some of us who think that he's a sellout now. There's others that don't think he's a sellout. I'm in the camp that I don't think he's a sellout, and I alluded to this in a previous video that I did because Bernie Sanders, he didn't do what Elizabeth Warren did. He actually ran against Hillary Clinton when Elizabeth Warren, we all expected her to run and wanted her to run, but she was too afraid to challenge Hillary Clinton, and during the primaries, she completely ignored Bernie Sanders. She treated him as though he had the plague and didn't go anywhere near him, but the first opportunity that she had to endorse Hillary Clinton, she did that. Why? Well, because she probably wants to secure her spot as Hillary Clinton's VP. So we feel as though Elizabeth Warren sold out for her own personal gain, which is what we hate about Washington politics. Now, with Bernie Sanders, I don't feel as though he sold out. He didn't. And this is because Bernie Sanders, one, he ran against Hillary Clinton, he challenged her, and two, you have to understand the amount of pressure the establishment put on him to drop out since March 15th, after the first Super Tuesday, when he got hammered in that race. He lost many states, and the establishment, the media were basically calling on him to drop out, and he stayed in the race. So, at 74 years old, we have to look at what Bernie Sanders accomplished. He galvanized a portion of the electorate that we didn't know even existed. And now we had this huge movement that he's now passing the torch to us to carry on. And he's also not just giving up, he's creating organizations to continue the movement. And he did all this, he fought, he was a warrior, and he really shed some light on the entirety of our democratic process and how it's just so corrupt. And he put the Democrats on full blast and showed that they really don't want to represent us. So this whole election has been enlightening, and we wouldn't know about the Democratic Party's betrayal of the American people to this extent if it weren't for Bernie Sanders. So I don't feel as though he's a sellout. In fact, I'm really thankful that he ran. He gave me hope that there were some politicians that wouldn't take money from large corporations, from the big banks. Many people make the comparison that if you don't take large donations from corporations and billionaires, you're showing up to a gunfight with a knife. And Bernie Sanders proved that that's bullshit. He nearly won it all, in spite of the fact that the entire process was just rigged against him from the beginning. It started out with the lousy debate schedule that Debbie Wasserman Schultz championed, and many people just talk about the fact that they only scheduled 6 debates. I think that the exclusivity clause is a lot more egregious, because I was one of the few people to talk about this when I first started out with my podcast, and not many others knew about it. But the exclusivity clause literally banned candidates from participating in debates not sanctioned by the DNC. So typically the DNC doesn't really have more than 10 debates on average. but they actually banned candidates from doing any extra debates. They just said, you know what, not only are we not going to have many debates, but we're going to ban you from participating in debates to help Hillary Clinton. They also demonized Bernie Sanders, and they banned his access to VAN. There was mass election fraud in key states. I mean, we had voters purged from the rolls. We had voting machines and the number of them available to the public cut, and Hillary Clinton and the DNC were silent on this because it helped Hillary Clinton. So we really feel as though Bernie Sanders was cheated, but in spite of this, he nearly won. In spite of the disadvantage he had, the lack of name recognition, he nearly won it all. So Bernie Sanders, you shouldn't view him as a sellout. You should view him as an inspiration, because what he did at 74 years of age is honestly remarkable. Now, with that being said, I think that many Bernie Sanders supporters are rightfully disappointed because this endorsement was unnecessary. Endorsing her isn't going to make a difference. We're still not going to vote for Hillary Clinton. Some will, but many won't. And I don't think that a vote for or against Hillary Clinton is going to be contingent on Bernie Sanders' endorsement. So I think that there's a proportion of his supporters that he disenchanted by making this endorsement. So I do feel as though it was unnecessary. But with that being said, I don't think Bernie Sanders is a sellout. I mean, he remained in the race until he got concessions from the Democratic Party. He got Hillary Clinton to adopt his college free tuition plan. He got her to support a public option. He got the Democratic platform to include a $15 minimum wage. He got them to support a road to marijuana legalization. Now, does that mean they're actually going to fight for this? Does that mean Hillary Clinton is actually going to fight for this? No, but he did what he thought he had to do, and that is remain in the race long enough so that way he could have some leverage over them to actually push the Democrats to the left, and he did that. He did what he said he would do, and he fought for us. So I don't feel as though, he's a traitor or a sellout or that he even gave up. I think he put up a hell of a fight, and I honestly am thankful to Bernie Sanders for doing what he did. I really am. And when Bernie Sanders said he would endorse the Democratic nominee at the beginning of the race, I truly believed him, and I don't hold that against him at all, but I am disappointed. I'm angry that the process was just so unfair. I think that if you were to go back in time and hold the election all over again, but under fair conditions, Bernie Sanders probably would have won if it wasn't rigged against him, if, they had equal name recognition. So it's just so frustrating because many Bernie Sanders supporters, they're not willing to acquiesce and fall in line and support Clinton because they rightfully feel as though they were cheated. And I completely understand that. I feel like we were cheated. I feel like Bernie Sanders was cheated. I felt like the entire establishment and corporate media treated him so unfairly. Hillary Clinton drug his name through the mud. Her surrogates, David Brock, anyone in Congress, Claire McCaskill, they were so rude to him. They gave him the middle finger. They shit all over him. And it just hurts. It hurts that now Bernie Sanders had to fall in line and support Hillary Clinton. But I don't believe this is the end of his revolution. I do believe that he's going to challenge her in Congress if she does go back on her word. I do believe that he's going to continue to fight for progressive ideals. But in the end, here's the thing. You can be angry. You can be disappointed. You're human. I mean, we lost. It sucks. I wanted Bernie Sanders to be the next president. So I'm terribly disappointed. And trust me, I was very, very sad the entire day when it actually happened, because even though I was trying to prepare myself for it, psychologically speaking, you can never fully prepare yourself for it. It really just feels like, we're all mourning the death of his campaign. And that's really tough. It's a hard pill to swallow to know that you lost and that someone who you valued and who inspired you isn't going to be the next president of the United States. So we can be disappointed. That's human. You don't have to feel bad about that. You don't have to fall in line. You don't have to let Hillary Clinton supporters or Hillary Clinton herself or her surrogates or the corporate media guilt you and scare you into supporting Hillary Clinton. You can do what you want to do. And I'm not going to encourage you to do anything. I think that I've empowered you with the information for you to make your own decision. And we all have to agree that regardless of the outcome of this election, the progressive revolution continues. We still fight for progressive ideas.